Stand by.
Dark masks, gather round your TV set, put on your masks, and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third
gather
commercial,
round
it's
and
still on,
watch.
please.
Watch
Take
the
off the
magic
third channel,
pumpkin.
the third channel, it's still running.
Watch.
Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
I'm happy because of being here today. Fuck you.
Come on, you want me to drive? You're supposed to be suicidal, remember? I'll
Anybody
drive.
a drive?
Get in the car.
Fucking shit. Fuck me in the fucking ass. Fuck you, you fucking stupid cunt.
Please, for the love of fuck. For the love of fuck. To quote a great YouTuber that got wrongfully terminated this summer, to quote this and keep this quote's legacy alive, this is what I'm gonna say. Stop making fucking movies. Stop. Just stop making strangers movies. Well, stop making movies, yeah, but stop making strangers movies. Okay? Well, another thing, Rennie Harlan needs to fucking retire. And Corey Solomon needs to get out of Lionsgate and go away. And stop doing horror films too. Both these two need to be fired. And I used to like Rennie Harlan as a director, but this guy's made shitty horror film after shitty horror film. Okay? There was Nightmare Street 4 was one exception. That was his first film he directed, but that's the one exception. Deep Blue Sea, that bombed. There was Exorcist the Beginning. Oh, that bombed. There was The Covenant. That bombed. Strangers Chapter 1, the previous film, that... No, I wouldn't say it necessarily bombed at box office wise, but it did bomb with audiences. This is gonna definitely bomb. Because you wanna know something? The theater was fucking empty. There were only 2 girls all the way in the back, and that was it. And even they weren't freaked out. The theater was empty as shit. So, guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if this makes any money this weekend. Like, it didn't even make money Thursday previews. Made less money Thursday previews. Only 620,000. I can bet you the opening weekend for this is going to be horrible. This is Epic Rant. I'm already 2 minutes in this. The Strangers Chapter 2. Yes, apparently this still got to go to theaters. Apparently. Despite how bad Chapter 1 was, apparently they were able to release this, and they said, we're going to reshoot a lot of this. We're going to process the reactions to Chapter 1, and we're going to fix Chapter 2. That was a lie, because it didn't. It was still shit. All this was basically the strangers clearly being all pissy, whining like 4-year-old babies, being all mad that their franchise doesn't get any attention like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger do. So this is just them trying to be posers of them and trying to be all Jason Voorhees. Them trying to be that. Thinking they can be that and fail. Even Jason Voorhees is more interesting than either of you three are. Your original film 2008 wasn't scary. Your remake from 2024 sucked balls. This sucked even more. This time around, apparently they're more brutal, relentless than ever. They might as well go to the hood while they're at it. They learned that, oh yeah, Maya's still alive, like we saw at the end of chapter 1. And they're going to finish what they started. Apparently these three know where she is. Apparently these three seem to know her. There's nowhere to run, no one to trust, so Maya survives in her horrific chapter of terror as the strangers that are driven by their more unceasing purpose pursue her, apparently constantly knowing where she is every time she stops. More than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way, and just about anybody she meets is automatically dead as soon as they are introduced. So my reaction, I don't know how the hell this was still able to go to theaters. Y'all know my thoughts on Chapter 1. I did an epic rant on that last year. It's one of the worst films I ever saw. One of the worst remakes I ever saw. And easily the number one worst horror film of last year. The one Stranger film that is tolerable, like I have said countless times, is Pray at Night. Why? Because, it's the one where the characters aren't dumb fucks. It's the only one where the characters aren't dumb fucks and actually get common sense and actually kill the fuckers. That's why. It's mindless turn off brain. That's what I liked about it. How was this movie? This was no better. This was no enjoyable. This was a fucking waste of time. This was a piece of shit. I thought it sucked. I thought it sucked ass. And good luck getting Chapter 3 ever released after this. If it even gets released, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets dumped direct to toilet or direct to streaming. Because we don't have direct to DVD anymore. We now have direct to streaming, but good luck getting Chapter 3 released to cinemas at all. Like, I'm surprised Chapter 2 went to cinemas. Back in the 2000s, if Chapter 1 was made and that didn't do well, these two would have been dumped direct to video. Anytime you were a bad horror film and you still got sequels, they'd all go straight to video because no one would want to go see them. No one would. How is this made? So y'all remember, all three of these were shot back to back. And no, I'm not saying they probably canceled Chapter 3 because Chapter 3 and the other two were filmed back to back. So they'll probably still release it some way. Obviously not wide release though. Yeah, and following the bad reactions to Chapter 1, they said they would pretty much reshoot Strangers Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. Yeah, well, it did not work out. And according to Rennie Harlan, 2 and 3 went a different direction than Chapter 1 and covering Petra's character for a span of 4 days after her encounter. After this film was shot and advertised, it had its premiere on September 16, 2025 at Fantastic Fest, got released this weekend at the time this was recorded, received worse reviews than its predecessor, not fucking surprised. I'm not goddamn surprised. I did try to tell people the rest were going to be worse. Some would say, I'm going to give the other two a shot, though. I knew these were going to not be better. Chapter 1 was proof. All these three were trying to be are Jason. They're trying to be Jason, or they're just jealous of Jason getting more attention than these three idiots ever do. And I say that because these three in this version look like posers. One of them looks like an emo goth with a toque. One of them just looks like a football jock wearing a farmer's jacket. One of them wears a ballerina dress. And I remember in the end of Chapter 1, when the idiot boyfriend had the gun to them and doesn't shoot them, one of them did that shitty laugh and started doing the Black Swan dance for 5 minutes. I remember that. That was the end of the last one, and then they repeated the end of the first film. And then that had to be continued. So, here are the epic bad qualities in the story of The Strangers, Chapter 2. It's an abysmal film. Too many logic holes. Such shitty CGI boars and animals. The script is plots going around. It's either all chase in the woods, or all stop at a house and the strangers just magically teleport, like, because they probably have magic powers. No backstory. Yeah, there is backstory, actually. There is backstory, and there's a pathetic backstory. Like, Rennie Harlan, this is a director that actually used to make good films. Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone is my favorite of his. Long Kiss Goodnight is another great film. Die Hard 2, I think, is an underrated sequel. Elm Street 4 is enjoyable. But if it's stuff like Exorcist the Beginning, The Covenant, Driven, or Deep Blue Sea, those films suck. It was around like 1999 when he started to flounder. And he never recovered. And this film is proof, and so is Chapter 1. This goes to show that he's lost his touch, and everybody in The Strangers 2 is at arguments like where they're trying to reshoot this to make this better. No, they made it dumber. And they made it more baffling and more annoying. And more boring. Like, there's some kill scenes. Yeah, some kill scenes, shots to the head, slits to the neck. Nothing creative. Where have we seen this before? Every other slasher film. Right. Terrifier, even the Terrifier films have better gore than you guys do. Jason Goes to Hell is better gore than you guys do. I've seen better horror films with better kills, and you ain't one of them, and never will be. There's parts of the film that make no sense, and they toss logic out the window, like, you remember the last one and Maya got stabbed if anybody even watched the last one? Yeah, well, apparently, there's times when she seems perfectly fine, and yet despite the fact that she should have collapsed at any point, and never does. What, she get all mortal from this or something? And the actress, Madeline Petch, just seemed like she was just there for the paycheck this time. Either most of the film, it's either first act is her in the hospital, then most of the majority of the film is either her being chased in the woods, and then stopping from house to house, and the strangers just constantly showing up every time she stops, because apparently they know where she is, and apparently they seem to know she's still alive. And then, like that, that's pretty much the entire film. There is nothing new to this. That is literally how the film goes. Like, this is 98 minutes long. This is the whole 98 minutes of nothing but jack shit. Just either her being stalked by the idiots or her running away. There is no energy. There is no numbling. There is just stupidity and unfunny stupidity. Even more stupidity. Now, how do we start off? So we start off where we see the diner from the last one, where this diner waitress graces a man named Frank, who's sharing information that she learns of him with this unseen patron, and then Shelley knocks on a door and asks the Tamara line. And then, of course, apparently this waitress is one of the strangers. And so, they kill Frank, trying to be all Jason Voorhees in the hood, and sucking at it. But that's the opening of the movie. The sequel is clearly rushed. You can clearly tell they were still trying to rush this either way. If they really wanted to make this better, why didn't you delay it in the first place? Then, if you really wanted to make this better, then you should have delayed it. Not release it anyway. You're just trying to make a continuation of a story that could have just been in Chapter 1 and been literally a one scene all over the place. But beginning to end, this was bad. Like, this was just laughably stupid. There was formulaic. There was no continuation of the story. Just a burner. You could have just made everything, like, into 25 minutes and that's it. Like, most of the film, Maya chased through a hospital trying to knock off Halloween 2. And you want to know something that's actually a good movie? This isn't! Look, I don't care what John Carpenter or Jamie Lee Curtis say about Halloween 2. I think Halloween 2 is actually good. Okay, I actually like Halloween 2 for 1981. I'd rather be watching that over this. Why? Because the characters weren't dumb in that film, and the film was actually, most of the time, took place in a hospital, and Laurie actually had common fucking sense, despite still being traumatized from Halloween 1. Oh yeah, and actually disposed Michael Myers. It actually tried to, but they kept bringing him back for more cash grab sequels. Then she gets chased into the woods, to several homesteads. Oh, at one point gets attacked by a CGI boar that looks like dog shit. And these three idiot poser punks get hot on her heels the whole way because they seem to always know where she is every single time. Apparently they're that smart. These are the same guys that most of the time in their original debut film, oh yeah, when their first film victims could have gotten away, they were really, the only reason they succeeded is because their victims were stupid. If their victims were smart, they would have gotten away in no time, because in their first film, whenever they were in the house, they would just sit there or stand there and do nothing. Literally. Yeah, and somehow, yeah, even like, I mentioned CGI boar. Yeah, these three apparently have a pet boar that they never saw in Chapter 1. We never saw in the 2008 film. Why wasn't this a thing in those films? It makes no sense. Oh yeah, it's part of their stupid backstory they get that literally... Yeah, because that's the thing. Every damn killer needs to have a damn backstory today. No, they don't. Not everybody needs a backstory. Backstories sometimes ruin shit. They ruin shit. Look at Michael Myers. Yeah, granted, to be fair, Michael Myers had a shitty backstory in Rob Zombie's Halloween, but you want to know something? It wasn't even... But guess what? At the very least, I guess the people he kills in his backstory, most of them, at the very least, those characters were pieces of shit. Some of them actually did shit to him. So I guess it was a little less pathetic that way. You can see why Michael killed those people. And there's barely any dialogue, because the writer, you can tell the writers had no idea what to put in this. And when it ends, you're glad, but you're also even more disappointed than you were last time. So, we get back to when Chapter 1 ended, where Maya's still alive, even though she shouldn't be. She looked pretty dead at the end of the last one until that hospital scene. Her claims get brushed off by the sheriff, played by Richard Brake, and his deputy. They want to avoid the involvement of state and federal police to avoid their cover-ups being unmasked, and like, I wonder if Chapter 3, it's going to turn out, I can bet you in Chapter 3 it's going to turn out that they're associated with the Strangers. I can bet you that. Yeah, the sheriff's played by Richard Brake, so I wouldn't be surprised, because Richard Brake plays a villain in almost every horror film he's in. Literally all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy turns out to be a bad guy in the next one, if it even comes out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're associated with these people. And the whole town of Venus, like, responds to the attack in different ways. They're like, some say she did it all, some say she didn't. You think a girl like this would kill and do all this house damage on her own? Then, of course, Maya's trapped in a hospital because apparently the three strangers found out she was still alive, despite the fact that they were long left after the end of the first film. So this makes no sense. How do these two even know her? How do these three even know her? I mean, three of them, not two of them. What, do they suddenly have a brain? Or what, do they suddenly have psychic powers? Or something? Can they tell the future? Or like, no, hey Truck, tell us the future. Oh, that victim's alive, let's go get her! No, it makes no fucking sense. Just like nothing else in this movie makes fucking sense. But apparently they figure out she's alive, and they're trying to, and now these three want to try to copy Halloween 2 from 1981. But she manages to evade Scarecrow in the morgue. And then she comes across her boyfriend's body in the morgue as well. And then the baghead guy kills an orderly. Baghead jock guy, I'll call him that. But Maya, able to escape, comes upon this horse farm where she tries to get help from the owners, like, freeze, but please, I need you to call police. No, police won't do anything, because they ain't gonna do shit. Yeah, guess what? One of the strangers, yeah, the emo punk one, kills the owner with a crossbow. Then Maya evades that one and attacks that one with a pitchfork. That doesn't kill her at all, surprisingly. The prize of pitchfork doesn't kill her. And then flags down this other nurse and her roommate, Chris, that drive her home. And then on their way home, they discover these two other roommates they have who look like psychopaths. For some weird reason, they're like, yeah, they like stare at them like sociopaths. I would not let these two in. These two look dangerous as soon as you meet them. They look grumpy. They look disturbed on their faces most of the film. Like, one of them even just stares at Maya menacingly. I'm surprised, like, some of these two probably aren't even associated with the strangers themselves. What, is the whole town probably associated with the strangers? Is that going to be next? But she escapes from the car after she has a panic attack about the occupants of the car being her attackers. And then the rest of the film, it's her in the damn woods, where somehow she's able to stitch up her wounds with glue and a string. And then she seizes a abandoned campsite and tries to start a fire, but the strangers have this pet CGI boar. Yeah, the best part. There's a CGI boar, people. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I'm surprised this boar, when it let out, it didn't start farting all the way out. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it didn't fart a lot. But Maya's able to kill the boar. Sometimes either the boar bites her leg, then it stops for a little bit, and then the boar comes back, bites her other leg, and then she kills the boar. Literally. But this was being watched by one of the strangers. And then we start our backstory. Apparently, this is the backstory, people. I would say spoilers, but I don't think anybody's going to waste their time going to see this movie, so I'm not going to say spoilers. But this is the backstory. This is how the backstory goes. So apparently, this one stranger was a child, there was this classmate named Tamara. This is where the Is Tamara Home line came from. And apparently, when this stranger was a child, she went to school with a girl named Tamara. And apparently, she was jealous because this friend she had would often hang out with her, or even, I don't know, actually go help her up when she fell off her bike. When they were like looking at the boars, which I guess explains the CGI pet boar that just randomly showed up that was never shown in the original film. And so apparently, she killed Tamara. Yeah, with a rock. That's how they became the strangers, people. This. I thought the whole point of this line in the original film was to see if the person was home, so they would kill them. I thought that was the point of the original film. You didn't need to know who Tamara was. Tamara wasn't a real person. There was never a Tamara. That was the point. The line, because you were home, is proof there was never a Tamara. They just wanted to see if you were home, so they would kill your ass. That's why they asked that question. They needed a response from their victim. That was the point. Apparently, that's the thing. That's the film's biggest problem. Apparently, Rennie Harlan was like, y'all are gonna know who Tamara is. We need to explain that. She was this other girl that was more popular than the strangers. And this other girl. So that's why she died, and they formed that line in the first place, and they started their attacks over that. So, great. Now, great. Yeah, that's what happened. Now, imagine this. Imagine if there's now a serial killer that's now suddenly started killing his class, all because that student got an F on their test. Imagine that. Or one accidentally made them spill their school lunch. I thought Tamara was supposed to be a made-up person. And now apparently that line, if for anybody who liked that line, the original was terrified of that line, that's going to be ruined after you watch this. Because now you're going to know who Tamara is. Because apparently we all need to know this Tamara person. No, we don't. We don't need to know her. Like, I don't know why this all could have just been one film in the first place and not be dragged into a trilogy in the first place. The whole film is pointless. It's pointless filler. Nothing happens. Stuff just drags out. Even in stuff like this, you know. Like stuff... Sometimes not every sequel that can have a plot can actually work, you know. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum was essentially the other half of John Wick 2. And guess what? That actually did stuff. Even that still had somewhat of a plot. It was actually well directed. Okay? It had good action sequences. It wasn't filler. It wasn't pointless. It wasn't just John Wick getting chased by the high table all the time. Okay, there was more to it. Apparently that's impossible with this film. You just need a cat and mouse trope for an entire 90 minutes. Maya didn't learn fucking anything from chapter 1, from the stupid shit she made in chapter 1. She makes even more dumber decisions. Oh yeah, like the hospital scene. Accidentally moves over this piece of metal and almost breathes, or his scarecrow of her presence. Oh yeah, suddenly letting her guard down lots of times. Like with the CGI boar. She didn't learn anything. That's the thing. She didn't fucking learn shit from chapter 1. And never even collapsed or died during this film because she's still suffering her injuries from chapter 1. Surprised she didn't collapse on the ground at any time and seems so perfectly fine despite being stabbed. Like, you think like a main character like this would have smartened up? No, still making more dumber decisions when being chased. The townspeople in this film, they are pointless to the movie. They have no role in the film whatsoever. They're all incompetent. You could have taken them out of the film and you would have missed nothing. You didn't need the police in this film either because they just basically are a few scenes and they disappear from the rest of the film and they are never seen again. Having a pointless cameo from Richard Brake that I guess they're probably going to bring them back for chapter 3 and it's going to turn out maybe Richard Brake is probably the one leading the strangers. I wouldn't be surprised they do that. Because that's the thing, Richard Brake plays a villain in almost every horror film he's in. I think he's talented in horror films, but that's the thing, he always plays a bad guy or a sadist in every single horror film. It's not surprising if that would be the case with this. So, yeah, these flashbacks happen throughout the film. The Tamara death scene happens at the last scene of the movie, but then eventually there's more stupid logic of the strangers probably having their psychic powers and knowing where Maya is. She finds this cabin. The cabin that's from the first film changes into new clothes. And this one other police officer tries to help her flee, like, I'm tired of these people being incompetent at solving any of the stuff with the strangers, so let's get you out of here. But, yeah, guess what? Unexpectedly, Pinup Girl shows up and kills him before he gets even a role, so he's pointless in the movie. Thank you. And so she flees in the car he has, but then the engine dies outside, and then finds a house belonging to that nurse from earlier that was going to pick her up. The two psychopath boyfriends and her other pal. They take her in for the night, and one of the psychopath boyfriends goes in her room, asks Maya, how'd you survive this? You're one of the few people who survived this. You're lucky, you know? Like, get out of my fucking room! You're a psycho. Look like you're about to kill somebody with your tone. I can see why Maya doesn't trust you. You seem like a sociopath person. Get out of my room. Get out of my face. Get the fuck away from me. She should have said that. Now, she quizzes about her wounds. And apparently the town was plagued by the strangers for so long. Because apparently these strangers killed 1,600 people or 1,300 people. But then he leaves the room. And they attack and kill all the occupants of the house. The strangers do. Because the strangers always know where she is. They have the brain. They have the psychic powers in their minds to know where she is at any time. So yeah, they kill the occupants of the house and the driver of this van, this ambulance that was sent to take Maya to Portland or take Maya to another hospital. Like, I want to watch an actual movie. I want to watch a bunch of pointless filler you could have put in chapter 1 and made that the finale from... I don't want to watch a CGI fucking bore because apparently some idiot thought that would be so great for a movie, for a horror film about 3 killers. Apparently, would I want to watch that? Would that seem like a good time of the movies? No, it wouldn't. Like, yeah, these guys have a pet boar. Instead of a pet dog, they have a pet boar. That looked horrible. It looked awful in fucking CGI. It looked like dog shit PS3 video game. Like, you could tell this was last shot lazily. And the strangers don't even try to hurt her, just try to take her out. Because they're just jealous that they can't get the attention of other horror killers. That's why. They're just them. This movie is basically the strangers throwing a fit over nobody liking most of their films. Clearly. And they're taking that out in this movie. Like, I thought these were supposed to be random. We didn't need no backstory for anybody. That's the thing. Why does every damn killer need to have a backstory? Every time they give a killer a backstory, it loses touch. Right? Look at the numerous Halloween sequels, the Rob Zombie movies. They ruined the point of Michael Myers. You're never supposed to know why he's evil. That's the point. In the first place. I like Halloween 2, but even you didn't need to have a twist of Laurie being his sister. That was also idiotic. I wish that could have been taken out. And Pinhead has a backstory. Jason, at least you have a reason to give him a backstory. At least you have a reason for Jason to have a backstory. Like Maya making stupid decisions, and it's not a shock that she almost got killed by them again and again and again. Sadly, because she didn't learn a damn thing from the first film at all. A film that they say it was CGI, that was reshot to improve it, but it was not improved. It was worse. And whatever, a bit where even blood literally floats on a shirt and even glitches all the time. Like, this film barely had a budget. You could have made this a 25-minute finale, and you missed nothing. This did not need to be 3 damn parts. For a good reason. And it just gets more fucking stupid with the damn scissors. And when one stranger stabs Maya with the scissors, and then Maya stabs that stranger with the scissors in the truck. Like, there's even times when I can tell when there's going to be a damn jump scare. At any time. The jump scares are so obvious in the film. It's the same we've seen in the other Strangers movies. We know when they will appear. It's obvious. And they were not scary. They were not entertaining. They were idiotic. They had no ideas whatsoever. It doesn't know where it wants to be set. Either wants to be set in the hospital. Either wants to be set in the forest. Either wants to be set in multiple damn cabins. But the strangers keep taking out any allies. Because apparently they're that smart. All the time. Yeah, and this hospital even is so empty. Like, where the hell are all the security guards or the overnight staff during this whole sequence? Where the hell is everybody? I thought hospitals were supposed to be open and full staff 24/7. Not empty. A majority of the time. And apparently, yeah. Let's humanize these killers as well. No! These guys killed 1,300 people. Or 1,600. These guys have been killing numbers of people for years. One of them just killed one of their classmates all because their friend was helping them. And were just jealous that they weren't getting the attention. So one of them was a brat as a child. So why do we need to humanize these people? Fuck that. No. Why not just let the strangers have their comeuppance like they did in Pray at Night? Actually have the victims actually finally give them a taste of their medicine. Like, yeah, actually have the cover, like, that film, like, when you have the victims actually finally wised up on their asses. In a world where people finally start to wise up on their idiocy. So, it's just like 10:06 at night, guys. I want to make this quick so I can go to bed. And I can edit this in the morning. So, let's get on with the finale. So, Maya escapes in the ambulance, but then the punk emo one shows up, is hiding inside. She stabs that one in the neck with the scissors. Apparently that kills her. But apparently somehow she does not die from that. And then tries choking Maya to death. But then Maya crashes the ambulance on purpose. And how this girl dies is flies out of the goddamn windshield like a Looney Tunes cartoon. And that's how she dies. And the other two strangers, they arrive. And Baghead's like, oh no. Picks up her mask, surprising and starts smooching it or something. Surprising and start kissing it. Just like, oh my god. Like, why should we feel sad for this killer? This killer killed a bunch of people. And Maya's watching the whole thing. Oh, let me guess. What's going to end at Chapter 3? Is she going to become one of the killers? Is that how Chapter 3 is going to end? Is that what? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route they go. Because they said Chapter 3 ends on a cliffhanger, people. Yeah. Because apparently either this is a remake or it's supposed to be a prequel to the 2008 film. But that's how Chapter 2 ends. With another to be continued! Yeah. Yeah, another to be continued. Yeah, good luck releasing Chapter 3, people. Good luck. No one was in the theater. The theater was dead-ass empty. Nobody's gonna go watch this movie. Nobody will. No one liked Chapter 1, so why would they go watch this? It's getting worse reviews. Cody Leach disliked this movie. Sean Sandler slammed this movie. 3C Films slammed this movie. They all watched it at Fantastic Fest. They've already slammed it. So good luck. Good luck getting anybody to go watch this. If Chapter 1 was bad, nobody's going to watch this, and this film was no better. So now are there even any good qualities? Well, at least I guess one of the strangers dies, but that's all that matters. But other than that one, Strangers Chapter 2 is much more horseshit than Chapter 1, and it's a waste of fucking time. 98 minutes of a filler middle half of your story. Thanks. In the end, the Strangers Chapter 2 is horseshit just as much as Chapter 1. This film sucks, it's a waste of fucking time, leads us to another cliffhanger that's gonna set up Chapter 3 that just about nobody's gonna want to let go to theaters. I hope it never goes to theaters. Fuck this movie. Anyways, that's it for my epic rant on the Strangers Chapter 2. Going on to Strangers Chapter 2, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you thought Chapter 1 was bad enough, well guess what? This movie's even worse than Chapter 1 was enough, so don't watch this horseshit sequel either. If we're going to go to Strangers Chapter 2, I'm going to give the Strangers Chapter 2 a 1 out of 10. Alright, there we go, guys. Yes, I will be reviewing the original film next week. That's part of Halloween Horror Movie Reviews 5. Y'all know my thoughts on the original film. But if you did have the mispleasure of watching this movie, tell me in the comments down below what you thought about it. Until then, guys, that'll be it for this epic rant. It's 10:10 p.m. I need to go to bed. I'm not going to stay up late editing a video. I can do that in the morning. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone. Good night, everybody.